whitewater paddling and all the safety techniques. That way, you tread your kayak away. Whether you want to just be a glass boater or you want to get on a bad board like this, we'll press even further. Hope you enjoyed. Check it out.
Hi everyone, this is Carl Schoonover, the training officer with the Tennessee Valley Canoe Club, and welcome to our instruction videos for basic kayaking skills. In this first video, you'll learn about the fundamentals of basic kayaking. It is important to practice the fundamentals because this will help you build a good basis for good technique, efficient paddling, and developing what we call the paddler's box. The paddler's box is an imaginary three-dimensional figure in front of your torso. When you keep your shoulders inside the paddler's box, it will force you to use your core rather than your arms. Compared to your arms and your shoulders, your core is a much larger muscle group, and therefore you'll be able to generate more force. If you try to exert the same amount of force with your shoulders, you will increase the risk of inflammation, tissue damage, and a shoulder dislocation. There are 7 basic fundamentals that you should practice when you kayak. Those 7 fundamentals are your posture, core rotation, pelvic tilt, J-lean, your grip, your vertical stroke, and your horizontal stroke. The first fundamental with kayaking is having good posture. When you have good posture, you need to be sitting up straight from your pelvis all the way to the head and not be slouched over. When you have good posture, you will be able to exert more physical force, you will have a greater range of motion, and having good posture will lead into the 3 basic core movements. That is core rotation, J-lean, and pelvic tilt. Core rotation is the second fundamental that you need to work on. Core rotation starts at the pelvis, at your hips, which is down here. Most people like to think that it's up here around the belly button. However, your belly button in this area is not what's connected to your boat. It is your hips, so that is where you need to rotate from. If you ever find your arms going out to the side like this, you're now getting outside the paddler's box. What you need to make sure you do is to rotate to keep your arms in front of you. The third fundamental in kayaking is your pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilt can be divided into anterior and posterior. Anterior means forward and posterior means backwards. So your anterior pelvic tilt is like this and posterior is like that. When you pelvic tilt properly, you can get a longer stroke. Therefore, having a stronger stroke, it will allow you to boof and do more. The fourth fundamental of kayaking is the J-lean. To J-lean, all you have to do is simply lift up one of your knees slightly. By doing that, you will be putting yourself on at the edge of your boat. It is important to be able to keep your balance centered in the boat though. When you can edge properly, keeping your weight centered in the boat, you'll be able to control your edge better and it will allow you to balance yourself on moving water. The fifth fundamental of kayaking is having a nice loose grip on your paddle. It's important to have a loose grip on your paddle because it allows for greater dexterity or the ability to rotate the paddle in your hands. To be able to grip your paddle properly, it needs to be nice and loose. So what you want to do is put the shaft in the pads of your fingers rather than in the palm of your hands. This will relieve all the tension in your arms. By relieving the tension in your arms, you can now keep your elbows down, and that will force you to use your core rather than your arms. Also, when you have a tight grip and your elbows go up, you now increase the chance of your shoulders coming out of the paddler's box. Real quickly, TVCC would like to give a shout out to Warner Paddles, who make this. we would like to thank them for sponsoring us. The last two basic fundamentals that you need to work on are your vertical and your horizontal paddle positions. Your vertical position is very basic. It is just like this. Having a good vertical position will allow you to take a good forward stroke, a good reverse stroke, and a good bow drop. The horizontal paddle position is like this. This will lead into your stern draws, your sweeps, bracing, and rolling. It's important to work on all 7 of these fundamentals in flat water, because in flat water you are in a controlled environment, and that is where you're actually going to get better.